ZB's here, and I am here with the Summer EUW Challenger Series Open Qualifiers. Like with DNA, we're just going to go over the teams. I'm not as knowledgeable in EU as I am in NA for Challenger players, but I know a good majority of it. I worked as a Challenger EU team, etc. So we're going to do this to the best of my ability here. Then we got our handy dandy op.gg if need be. So there's a lot of buys going into this because there's a lot more teams in EUW. So we're going to go ahead and kick it off with the low priority versus the Giants underdogs. I think the doggies, or dojis, whatever you want to call them, Giants Challenger squad is the favorites here. They've been playing together in and out with different players. They changed their support when Hustlin moved up. Things like that, but I still think they are the favorites here. Over low priority, Zaitan, pretty good support players. Sebek seems familiar. It might be a pretty good series to watch, actually, but I would still say it is underdog favored. I don't know any of those teams. Celestial Gaming, nobody I know. Kick Esports, they have two teams in the Open Qualifiers. I believe they are pretty known organization. This roster doesn't have anybody I know off the top of my head here. Epic Avalanche, Cake Troller Dog. We'll come back to that, we'll go through some op.gg most likely. Riddle Esports, nobody there. Okay, so this one, I know Fiddle, he's a pretty good support player. Don't know anybody else, so I'm just going to have to give that to having a player that I actually know in EUW Challenger. Probably pretty good, I'm going to say. So I'm going to say Exertus over Riddle Esports here. We got Manalight. They got Larson on here. I know Larson, he's a pretty damn good mid laner. Versus Vape News. Going to give it to Manalight with Larson. Enigma Esports, again, another organization somewhat known. Versus Wondering Stage, whatever. Doesn't look to have any relatively known players on either. So we're just going to pass that for now. Team Horizon versus the Sevis. Okay, so the big thing here is Sevis +6 on certain websites are listing that they're playing with Nick, former Gambit mid laner, top lane, an unknown jungler who's just like a Polish guy, Selfie in the mid lane, Woolite on AD carry, and Super A's on support, which if they do that, that's like a roster I'm going to hype up really hard. I think Selfie's really, really good, really underrated. Definitely deserves to be in LCS. So if he it doesn't look like he's actually listed on here, neither is Nick, Selfie, but Super A's is on here, so unless they're using Smurfs, something of the sort, there's that. Then we go down into Illuminar. Nobody noticeable. So, Ziviz, I know him. Pretty good player. I've heard of him before, at least. I would go ahead and give it to Supernova here over Illuminar. And then we go up to this side of the bracket. We got Mysterious, which doesn't look like there's anybody known there. We got, again, like I said in my LPL review, I can't pronounce shit, especially European and Chinese things, so different European, like Pergi, Bionifa. So I'm not gonna pronounce things like that if I don't have to. Bunch of high elo players that mean nothing to me so far. Just scroll. Okay, so this is Fnatic Academy here. Definitely gonna give the edge. We're easy money. It doesn't really easy monkeys. Doesn't have anybody pops out to me on the roster, while the Fnatic Academy has Clashback, Impaler, Werlib. I think Impaler and Werlib are pretty LCS level, like maybe middle lower of the pack of LCS, so they are good players. So it's perfect. Pretty good player. Just I think he's definitely CS level. Not sure if LCS level yet, but he is good. Then we got Corker, who is a Challenger AD player, does a lot with support pros, and pretty good player, so definitely give the edge to Fnatic Academy, going over Chocolate Orange Fudge, I believe is what the name they're using is. So ENG, get a bye. Hosan is the only name on here. I believe he was on Dragonborns in the past, but I'm not 100% sure here. It might be a different guy using a name similar. Then we got EGN Humble versus GGCN. Nothing pops out at me. I believe, yeah. So this is an Italian team here. They were like a sort of kind of close to what I would say a sister team to Inferno Esports, which was the Italian org that had the EU roster I worked with before. Belzy's really, really good. Their AD carry Counter-Strike, or Counter, I forget his name 100%, it's Counter something. He's decent, but Belzy's a monster. I think Belzy can do good. They got Pain Gaming, which I'm assuming is not related to the Brazil one. And then, so I don't know anything about those two teams so far. Random 5 doesn't look to have anybody pop out at me. Ace's Army. Easy in the CS. Nothing. And then Kick Esports. I would give the edge to Kick here. They got some decent players on. This is the better of the two Kick rosters, I would say. So now we're gonna have to go. We already say underdoggies. Let's see here. PDPIO. So Diamond player here for the Playing Ducks. Diamond 2. Duplicate that. And we got it, and oh fuck, stupid letters. DERET. DER. I apologize for this. It's really small font, and I should probably be wearing my glasses to actually try and read this, but I am actually retarded. Let's see here. ETHIC. Master player. So off the edge, you already see there's a. These are all like Diamond. I would say Diamond 3 and above players on the Playing Ducks. And already off the back here, we see NXS having Master tier players. So just right off the bat there, I'm actually going to give the edge to NXS there. I think if you have Diamond players on your roster, it's a lot harder. You're going to need a pretty good coaching staff to get anywhere in the open qualifiers, and that's just off my quick 30-second analysis here. Kick Esports. I'm going to give the edge to Epic Avalanche here. Riddle Esports versus Exertus. Going to give it to Exertus. Like I said, Riddle's a good support player. Manalite, giving it to Manalite. Enigma versus Wonder Stage. Going to go ahead and give it to Enigma there. Team Horizon versus Seth plus 6. I'm going to get Seth plus 6. Then Supernova, so then it will be Seth plus 6 to semifinals. And then I'd give it to Manalite over Enigma, so then I give it Seth plus 6 into the finals on that side of the bracket here. Then I'm going to say most likely underdoggies, doggies, going into the semifinals against Seth plus 6. And if they use Selfie, Woolite, Nick, and all those players, then they probably will win. But if not, I would give it to underdoggies making to the finals here. So it would be up to those two on this side of the bracket, I believe, are the strongest. And then on this side of the bracket, the strongest team is definitely Fnatic Academy. Then to kick over Easy in the CS, then we got Random 5 versus... I'll give it to Aces here. They actually have a sponsor name, it looks like, so probably have something more of a coaching staff, hopefully. So then I'd give it to Random 5, somewhat known players more than Aces team. But then I'd give it to Kick Esports over them. So that's Kick making it here. I'd give it to Atrax over the winner of Pain or Atrax Esports, the Italian org I was talking about. They'll make it here. They'll place they will play the Hosan team, the ENG. Then I'd give it to ENG making to play Kick, and ENG will win. Then for the top side, we got the Fnatic Academy versus E-Money. Definitely give it to Fnatic Academy. UPro versus... I'll give it to this team, the EC Visualize. Night Sniper, kind of known. I'll give it to Endurance here. But then I'd give it to EC Visualize. So EC Visualize versus Fnatic. Give it to Fnatic. We got Different Dimensions versus... Gonna give it to Void Esports here. With their IV-20, it's a pretty known tag. Pretty good players usually. So I'm gonna give it to Void Gaming here. Actually I'm gonna give it to Void Gaming again. I don't know, nothing on the Different Dimensions pops out at me. Give it to W System Club over Pergi. Then I'd give it to W System Club over Mysterious, and then I'd give it to Fnatic. So Fnatic versus the ENG, and I'd give it to Fnatic, making to the finals, play the underdog G's, most likely. So, like I said before, I'm not the most in-depth on a lot of these lower elo, like Diamond, and I know most of the Challenger EU players, and I know good majority of some Master Tier players, but, so yeah, I apologize for, like, my lack of knowledge on some of these players and things like that, but, for the most part, I think the teams you want to watch out for are definitely the underdog G's. You got the, 7 plus 6, you got the Atrax Esports, you got ENG, and you got yourself Fnatic Academy. I think the finals will be Fnatic Academy versus Underdog G's. And yeah, so thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like, follow me on Twitter, check out my blog in the description, and thanks for watching.